Pickle. It's ranking season. It's that time of year. That time of year when we unveil the rankings in the 2022 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, which you can get at texasfootball.com/subscribe. We'll mail it directly to you. We've reached what I think is probably the dividing line of big schools.
Yeah.
Right? We've reached 5A. We're going to do 5A Division 2 and 5A Division 1 today. Of course, we are the official rankings provider of the Associated Press. Very proud of that. And you can find expanded rankings of every classification in the 2022 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football if you go to texasfootball.com/subscribe. But first, we will roll out the top 10 in 5A Division 2, starting with the Tigers of Texas High, the number 10 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a regional finalist from a year ago. This team brings back a lot on the offensive line, which is going to be very important, but the defense does lose 8 starters. That's a big question for Jerry Stanford's bunch, but out in East Texas, the Tigers are going to be a problem. Keep an eye on Texas High, the number 10 team to start the year. Number 9. The Colleyville Heritage Panthers are the number 9 team to start the year in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. A 5A Division 1 regional finalist drops down to Division 2 this year and brings back a couple of offensive skill position players. But they are going to be very young. Just 2 starters are back on each side of the ball. Maybe a little bit of a rebuild there, a reload, so to speak, for Coach Kirk Martin, but few do it better than him. Colleyville Heritage is number 9 to start the year. And number 8, a team that brings back plenty, the Leander Rouse Raiders are the number 8 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football to start the year. Quarterback Mason Shorb is back in there, as well as an outstanding offensive line, a running back, and 10 starters on defense. This is a team that is going to be young on the outside receiving-wise, but with a quarterback like Shorb, they're going to be very dangerous. Keep an eye on Leander Rouse. We think they could be in for a breakout year. They start the year number 8 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. To number 7. Let's go Wichita Falls way to find the Rider Raiders as the number 7 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Last year's regional finalist a year ago is going to have an outstanding running game and defense. 16 starters are back from this year's squad. They do have to replace a couple pieces up front and in the linebacker spot, but this is a team that has an opportunity to make a very deep run out of Region 1. Keep an eye on Wichita Falls Rider. They're very dangerous, the number 7 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
They've got some really good size at receiver, too. We saw it 7-on-7.
Now, they are not the favorite in Region 1. That belongs to the number 6 team in the state. The Argyle Eagles are the number 6 team to start the year in Dave Campbell's Texas Football, making their debut in the 5A ranks, moving up to 5A Division 2. Of course, a regional semifinalist last year and a perennial power at the 4A ranks. They are moving up, and they're doing so with some experience, especially on the defensive side. The offense is going to need to find some depth, and that's going to be a question. They are going from being one of the biggest schools in their classification to one of the smallest. How do they handle it? But you doubt Todd Rogers and his bunch at your own peril. Argyle starts the year as our favorite in Region 1. They're the number 6 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. From Region 1 to Region 2, we go the 5A Division 1 state semifinalists from a year ago. Mansfield Summit, the number 5 team to start the year in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Half their team is back from a team that made the semifinals in a division above, now dropping down. This team for Coach Shannon Hall is going to be very, very dangerous. The Jaguars of Mansfield Summit are a force to be reckoned with. Keep an eye on them, a potential to make a very deep run in a tough Region 2. They start the year number 5 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. To number 4. Go across the bracket to Region 3 to find the Fort Bend Marshall Buffaloes, the number 4 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. A disappointing first-round loss to Barbers Hill aside, this is a team that had the dreaded 10-1 last year, but they bring back a lot of experience on both sides of the ball. Now, they've got a couple of young players they need to step up, especially at the wide receiver spots, but we did see them out at state 7-on-7, and they looked the part. The other thing that I think is really interesting about Fort Bend Marshall, they're going from one of the weakest districts in the state to really a strong one that's going to challenge them. How much does that help them? They start the year as our favorite in Region 3, Fort Bend Marshall, the number 4 team in the state. To number 3, the state runner-up from last year, the Liberty Hill Panthers, the number 3 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football to start the year. Now, this offense is going to be loaded. 9 starters are back from last year's squad in the slot T. They're going to be extremely dangerous offensively. Now, they got to replace 4 D1 players on the defensive side. That's going to be tough. The defense is going to need a little bit of work. But Coach Kent Walker and company have a history of putting together some great teams. This could be a little bit different, maybe rely more on some offensive firepower than on the defense this year. But this is a very dangerous Liberty Hill squad. They're the favorite in Region 4. They start the year number 3 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. To number 2. The Lovejoy Leopards are the number 2 team to start the year, and Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a regional finalist from last year, has tons of experience coming back. 10 starters on offense, 7 starters on defense, wide receiver, all their offensive linemen, their quarterbacks. They've got playmakers all over the field. The defense is going to need to replace the secondary, which is a big question for them. But this is a team that, because of the experience coming back, Lovejoy is going to be a threat not only to win the region, but to win it all. Lovejoy starts the year number 2 in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And the number 1 team to start the year in 5A Division II, the defending state champions, South Oak Cliff Golden Bears, start the year as our favorite to go back-to-back, and it's easy to see why. 17 starters are back from last year's state championship squad, and they are experienced and dangerous. The one question we have about South Oak Cliff is quarterback. Kevin Henry Jennings was so important to that team last year, but he's off to SMU now. Can they find a quarterback? If they find a quarterback, they're the team to beat in 5A Division II. Hard stop. South Oak Cliff has the playmakers, they have the experience, and they have the all of the things that go into the heart of a champion. They have that. South Oak Cliff is our favorite to win the Division II state championship for a second consecutive year. They are the number 1 team in Dave Campbell's Texas Football. So there you go. The top 10 in 5A Division II to start the year. Number 10, Texas High. Number 9, Colleyville Heritage. Number 8, Leander Rouse. Number 7, Wichita Falls Rider. Number 6, Argyle. Number 5, Mansfield Summit. Number 4, Fort Bend Marshall. Number 3, Liberty Hill. Number 2, Lovejoy. And the number 1 team in the state, the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears. So your de facto semifinals here, according to this, would be Argyle against South Oak Cliff. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And it would be Fort Bend Marshall against Liberty Hill. Interesting. Both of those.
You want to talk
very
about a lot of running the ball. That game, man, that game would go by so quick.
That would be really fun to watch.
That would go by so quick.
The power nexus in region or in 5A Division II, I think, has to be in Region 2.
Yeah.
You've got 4 of the top 10 there with South Oak Cliff, Lovejoy, Mansfield Summit, and Texas High. We didn't even mention a team in Region 3 like Austin LBJ, which we think has a chance to make some noise moving up classification.
I was just going to say, LBJ last year, I wouldn't say we completely counted them out, but we kind of, if you want to call it, slept on them a little bit too after losing the 2 D1 defensive backs, and they ran it back again.
Argyle's a real wild card here because they're moving up a classification, and their pedigree is borderline unmatched. I mean, they have tremendous pedigree, but they are moving up. If they move up and they don't skip a beat, then they're going to be very, very dangerous. But we don't know. And by the way, a regional finalist is going to be a regional finalist there is sitting there in Wichita Falls Rider. So I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting. Region 1 is going to be really fun to watch. So keep an eye on that. 5A Division 2, the top 10.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.